TNT Countdown.
There's a ton of comic book games, but most never graduate from a sidekick level, unable to leap bad design in a single bound. The ones that do make the effort, rating their legacy, are truly great. Is there a stronger incentive than being a hero with the fate of the world hanging in the balance? These are the games that let you be amazing, super, incredible, and uncanny, from the archetypical villain smashing to the introspective moments of a fantastic life. These are the best of the best.
My patient is wearing thin.
Number 10.
Gamers may not realize it, but this dinosaur-hunting Native American had his start in comics back in the 1950s. It doesn't look like much today, but Tarak 2 pushed the power of the N64 with detailed textures and lengthy voice samples.
Legions of the undead have begun pouring through these gates into Arisi.
It even used the RAM expansion pack for a high-res 640 by 480 display. The game is best known for its gory weapons, including flamethrowers and Gatling guns, the limb-severing Razorwind, and the legendary Cerebral Bore, which drilled into an enemy's skull to produce a thick fountain of blood and spinal fluid.
Number 9.
At a certain point in time, Capcom knew exactly how to make a great beat-em-up and turned out some of the greatest games in the genre one after the other. Somewhere in that sequence of classic gameplay that started with Final Fight and ended with Battle Circuit was The Punisher. Player 1 is Frank Castle, aka The Punisher. Player 2 controls the perpetually cigar-smoking agent Nick Fury, and together you beat up and shoot down punk after punk on your way to tackle an extremely large kingpin. You could beat up a cyborg with his own arm, slash throats with knives, and every so often, a firefight would break out and everyone would start shooting. The game was amazingly playable, featuring great comic-style cutscenes, and was true to the spirit of the comic. You kill a whole lot of bad guys.
Number 8.
XMen Legends 2 refined the design of the original multiplayer dungeon crawler and expanded the roster of playable characters to include Magneto and other villains. And of course, more merry mutants. Superpowers got bigger and badder as you gained experience, and you could choose to set leveling up on autopilot and swap powers on the fly during combat. There was plenty for fans, including constant character cameos, a trivia game that yields experience points, and even Patrick Stewart, reprising his role as the perfect voice for Professor X.
Imagine the good we could continue to achieve.
Number 7.
Sporting the show's bright pastel palette and cartoony beatdowns that would make even Chuck Jones envious, Turtles in Time was a title that delivered like a steaming hot pizza.
Pizza time!
Stellar level designs and non-stop action made it an arcade hit, but fan-friendly nods to iconic locales, series scenarios, and notable baddies to the Turtles' mythos made the game a cult sensation. Whether you were kicking foot soldiers to the curb or surfing the sewers for pizzas, Turtles in Time had it all in a half-shell.
Cowabunga!
Number 6.
Back when your only tools for online role-playing were a broadsword and staff, NCSoft and Cryptic Studios made our most grotesquely geek fantasies come true by letting us become our own spandex-strapped crime fighters. The citizens of Paragon City needed help, and what better way to whisk away the online hours than to pretend you were powerful enough to save them? It took longer than expected to get villains involved, but from flying around town to picking just the right color and shape of your utility belt, City of Heroes has survived as one of the freshest experiences in the MMO space. And as long as no one spoils it by making more Marvel characters, it'll stay that way.
Number 5.
For a superhero game to truly succeed, you have to really feel like you're the superhero. Where past Hulk games failed, Ultimate Destruction knocked it out of the park. Hulk get mad, Hulk get strong, and of course Hulk smash. Getting around Hulk style meant shoulder charging through traffic, leaping incredible distances, and powering up and over skyscrapers. Fighting like the Hulk meant a ton of upgradable moves and the ability to charge any move for maximum power. You could also weaponize a car by ripping it in half and turning it into steel boxing gloves, and unleashing gamma-charged super moves to really wreak some havoc in the sandbox-style environments. The authentic story written by award-winning comic writer Paul Jenkins didn't hurt either, but in the end, Hulk is all about the smash.
Number 4.
Every superhero game leading up to Spidey 2 utilized a 3D maze or a 2D back alley with your origin at one end and your objective at the other. But the Webslinger's second film translation let you truly cut loose. The island of Manhattan became a Parker playground, with a method of travel that beat stealing a car any day of the week. The story was short, and the crimes were repetitive, but Spider-Man often swings around town when he wants to clear his mind. And for the first time, we could too.
Number 3.
Sure, a lot of the games on this list let you strap on tights and act out all of those magnificent moves of daring. But here's a game that wasn't afraid to bring the darker stuff to light. As Jackie Estacado, you dawned the darkness, its eel demon tentacles and all, and took back the night. Its neo-noir vibe put you as the anti-hero hell-bent on vengeance, with enough guns and sick powers to obliterate a small European nation. But this is New York City. The darkness easily entered the annals of great comic conversations, as its superhero idiosyncrasies brought fresh blood to the table. This game had heart, and you even got sidekicks from hell.
Number 2.
If the thought of pairing up Strider with Doctor Doom doesn't excite you, then you may as well check your pulse. If the canonical implausibility didn't give you an aneurysm first. Years of tweaking the franchise's tried-and-true system culminated in the formation of robust three-man teams, a plethora of assist attacks, and the biggest compilation of mutants and martial artists to date. It was the ultimate crossover. Even 7 years after its release, the competitive scene for the game is still going strong on consoles and at arcades everywhere. For comic book fans looking to settle bets on what-if matches, this was their chance to shine. Marvel vs. Capcom 2 was, and still is, the definitive mashup brawler for the ages.
Number 1.
Magneto kidnapped Professor X and Kitty Pryde, and only the X-Men had the power and svelte physique to pull off this daring rescue, through savage lands to Asteroid M. Great animation and a plethora of fanboy favorites supplied the visual panache, with something awesome always coming up. Bosses spouted manic one-liners laced with classic comic hyperbole, just to fall to the mighty X-Men's mutant maneuvers.
I am Magneto, master of magnet.
Simply put, X-Men was the epitome of timeless design, and it's kept the characters and their powers in Mylar mint condition, 16 years later. It was deserving of your quarters, and best played with 3 buddies. And with 6 mutants to choose from, no one was ever stuck with Dazzler.
I am Magneto. You are nothing.